Mr. Speaker, last night the Rules Committee met and reported a rule, House Resolution 980, providing for consideration of four measures: H.R. 5585, H.R. 6678, H.R. 6679, and H.R. 6976. The rule provides for consideration of all four measures under structured rules with 1 hour of debate each, equally divided and controlled by the chair and ranking minority member of the Committee of Jurisdiction or their designee. The rule provides one motion to recommit for each measure. Mr. Speaker, I rise today in support of the rule and in support of the underlying bills. Today we are here to address an ongoing crisis. Not a new concept to this body. The word crisis has been a hard one from my friends on the other side of the aisle to absorb when it comes to our current situation on the southern border. But let's just put a few things into perspective. In 2023, Customs and Border Protection encountered over 2.5 million illegal migrants attempting to cross the southern U.S. border. In December alone, Customs and Border Protection encountered 302,000 illegal migrants. That's just in the month of December, attempting to cross the U.S. southern border, the highest number of unlawful migrant crossings in a single month in recorded history. In 2023, Customs and Border Protection confiscated almost 230,000 pounds of drugs, including 22,000 pounds of illicit fentanyl being smuggled across the southern border. I don't know, if this doesn't sound like a crisis to you, I don't know what would. Mr. Speaker, earlier this month, I was at the southern border to witness firsthand the challenges faced by Texans and to hear directly from Border Patrol agents and law enforcement officers, those who are on the front lines of this crisis. Magically, either by order of President Biden or by order of the cartels, the Eagle Pass area was completely cleared out that day. If that is possible when members of Congress are visiting on a certain day, it is possible every single day. Mr. Speaker, the President has every tool that he needs right now to stop the overwhelming flow of migrants to the border. The proof of this is that immediately upon taking office, President Biden dismantled the immigration policies that were put in place by the Trump administration. He did that by executive order. He could undo them by executive order. President Biden halted the construction of the border wall. He ended migrant protection protocols, also known as the Remain in Mexico program, and restarted the dangerous catch and release program with the simple stroke of a pen. Now the consequences have been stark. Record numbers of migrants crossing the border and increasing each month, record numbers of illegal migrants being released into the United States, an open season for drug smugglers, human traffickers, and Mexican cartels, and social support systems stretched to the breaking point, not only in my home state of Texas, but places across the country, like New York City, Chicago, Los Angeles, Denver. Mr. Speaker, this is not an immigration problem. It is a national security problem. We have a responsibility to make certain that the laws of this land protect Americans and ensure their safety. Earlier this Congress, we passed H.R. 2, the Secure the Border Act of 2023, to combat illegal migration and ensure operational control over the southern border, but the Senate has refused to even debate or have a vote on the bill. Today, we take up 4 additional bills that will help undo the chaos caused by this administration to ensure that law enforcement, particularly the agents of Customs and Border Protection, federal agents, are supported in their mission to keep our communities safe. This means closing loopholes that allow illicit behavior to go without punishment, which is exactly what the following 4 measures will do. Last year, Customs and Border Patrol agent Raul Gonzalez was tragically killed in pursuit of illegal migrants fleeing law enforcement in a motor vehicle. High-speed chases started by those breaking our laws are not uncommon. In fact, any of us who have been down and visited the border, whether it was several years ago or recently, have been shown the films, the dash cam videos collected by Customs and Border Protection of these very high-risk, high-velocity chases, which frequently end up with a crash, with people hurt, or people simply bailing out on the highway and running away. Currently, fleeing law enforcement in a motor vehicle does not carry immigration consequences for the perpetrators, even in situations that result in the death of an officer like the one involving Agent Gonzalez. H.R. 5585, the Agent Raul Gonzalez Officer Safety Act, will change that by adding specific criminal and immigration consequences for individuals who operate motor vehicles while fleeing Border Patrol and law enforcement agencies. The penalties instituted by this bill include prison time and ensure that perpetrators can be deemed inadmissible to this country and deported from the United States. Preventing deadly accidents that endanger lives is also the focus of H.R. 6976, the Protect Our Communities from DUIs Act. With a simple turn of a key, an intoxicated driver commits a crime, and illegal migrants are no different. Tragically, many of these incidents involve individuals who should not be in the country at all. Illegal migrants who've committed this offense are evaluated under the Crimes Involving Moral Turpitude standard, a difficult and complex legal analysis that results in long delays and lengthy legal proceedings. H.R. 6976 will change this and provide immigration consequences for driving under the influence, rendering illegal migrants who have committed this offense inadmissible to this country and deportable without a lengthy process. In a similar vein, with identification and fraud on the rise, H.R. 6678, the Consequences for Social Security Fraud Act, will ensure that criminal or illegal migrants who commit Social Security and ID fraud can be removed and barred from this country. Finally, we will take up H.R. 6679, the No Immigration Benefits for Hamas Terrorists Act. In October, the world watched in horror as Hamas, a designated terror organization, committed a vicious and evil attack on Israel. 1,200 Israelis, including American citizens, were murdered. Another 240 were taken back to Gaza as hostages, where many remain today. Terrorists who participated in, planned, or otherwise supported the October 7 attacks should not be admissible to the United States. Period. Full stop. End of sentence. There is no reason for a member of Hamas to ever be admitted into the United States. H.R. 6679 will make that a reality and ensure that we can prevent these deadly and evil people from ever entering our country, thereby protecting our citizens. Taken together, eradicating these gaps in our legal recourse will deter criminal activity and ensure that bad actors face appropriate punishment for their crimes. Mr. Speaker, Republicans have demonstrated that we are committed to governing for the American people and that the American people have spoken. Their message to their elected representatives is enough. Enough with sending their tax dollars to process migrants that should not be in this country in the first place instead of enforcing the law. Enough with putting law enforcement both at the border and across America in harm's way. Enough with the fear-mongering and lies. Mr. Speaker, I stand in strong support of the rule and the underlying bills and urge my fellow members to support the rule and will reserve the balance of my time.